Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. My name is Derek, and today I am joined by,
Karen, as always.
yes, and we are going to be talking about what's happening on GH this week. Time we roll the credits, and we'll get into it. Sam's not dead yet. End of show. No.
Yo, so this is terrible because like every day you're like, is today the day? And it's
Yeah.
not. And it's like, this poor character, what is happening? She's not dead yet. Not
Yeah.
dead.
So we start the week off with Sam meeting with Drew and Jason. She wants them to. The kids are going to be staying at the Quartermains, and she wants them to spend as much time with them as possible. Which is pretty ominous, in my opinion, that she's. But,
Why does she keep she's like, I get it, right? You're a
yeah,
mom. So you're gonna
yeah,
be like extra everything, you gotta plan for everything. But
mhm,
damn, if everybody just doesn't walk around going, thanks for your sacrifice. You're definitely dying. Have a great day. And I'm like, what the? This is crazy. Why is she even doing this surgery? Like
yeah,
everyone says, the chances of Lulu recovering are slim to like 10%. And she's going to sacrifice a chunk of her liver to give someone who's been in a vegetative state for years an
mhm,
opportunity to stay in a vegetative state for more years. Like this is a zero sum game. I don't understand why we're doing this.
yeah. So there's a lot of the same scenes felt very final because she gets a lot of scenes. She gets scenes with Liz, Maxie, Spinelli, Carly, people she's had scenes with over the years, Sunny as well. So it just and Dante. So it just seems like these are her final scenes with these characters, and they're revving up for her goodbye. Friends and family gathering at the hospital before she goes in the transplant, and her last exit sign is signing "I love you" in sign language. So, and I don't know if that's the end of Kelly Monaco. I hope it's not. I hope we get one final scene with her, but I'm kind of guessing we don't.
I don't think so. I think she might be done. I think
Mhm.
from now on we're going to be seeing a body on a bed,
Yeah,
no matter what happens at this point. But if she dies on the table, I'm going to be furious because
yeah,
it just what does that do for the show other than make everybody very very sad
hmm
and make everything really traumatic, but not in a
hmm
fun or interesting way, just in a here's a bunch of pain, now deal with it sort of way.
yeah. I mean, I read somewhere that Kelly improvised that "I love you" in sign language, and they
Oh,
didn't edit it out. So that was nice. I'm glad they got that in there for her. But yeah, it's sad that this character's coming in and end in such an abrupt way, and I don't really agree with it. I mean, like you said, you don't kill legacy characters, you don't kill people that have been on the show for a long time. Look at Alan Quartermain, what a mistake that was.
that
So
was a horrible mistake.
yeah,
I stand by that. Stuart Damon was done dirty.
yeah, sure. And you know, we I don't know. They love to kill all the legacy characters. It's not good.
I mean, I think they realized it with Stuart Damon because we did get to see him haunt Tracy for a while, and that
That
was a
was
lot of
fun.
fun.
That was really
So I am hoping that this turns into something that's better than just what it seems to be right now, which is just let's get rid of
mhm.
Sam as fast as possible
hmm
in a sad, sad way.
Right. So we'll talk about Lulu right now and Laura and the surgery and all that. Laura finds out that from Terry that there's a complication and Lulu has some kind of vein
Thrombosis.
thrombosis,
Yeah.
portal vein thrombosis. That's what it is, and her liver is not receiving blood. I believe that's what it means.
There's something about the veins, like
The veins to her liver are blocked or something
they
like.
have a clot.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is the complication of the surgery, and unfortunately, no one at GH has experienced doing this type of surgery. So that's when Lucky comes in and recruits Isaiah to do Lulu's surgery because he has experience in that area.
Mhm.
Lucky, so Isaiah agrees to do the surgery. Lucas is going to be operating on Sam, at her request. And let's see, where were we with that?
Yeah, because Sam makes Lucas do it. He doesn't want
Yeah.
to
Right.
because
He kind of, and I feel bad for Lucas because he's going to end up losing his sister, and then he's really going to
well,
him.
I feel bad for both doctors in this scenario because
Yeah.
Isaiah didn't want to do the surgery, and Lucky was like, "But can you do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, but the chances
Mhm.
are really bad." And Lucky's like, "I just want the chance. I'm not saying save her. I'm saying try." But at
Yeah.
the time, Isaiah's gonna feel intense guilt for that. And then Lucas, it is his sister,
Hmm.
his cousin. Like on both sides, he's like in it to lose.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not a it's
Very
not a good
sad.
scenario for anybody. I mean, it's really dramatic, but again, it's just trauma.
Yeah. So towards the end of the week, Sam is still in surgery. Diane and Alexis are mentioned that. We'll talk more about them later, but we still don't have any word yet on what's going on with that. So we'll find out next week about that.
Also, she kept her sisters away for
Yes,
the
she did,
entire time she was in the hospital
and
because of
rightfully
their
so.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I would have been like, I'm gonna do this very dangerous thing, and my sisters are
Mhm.
like, we hate each other, and I'm gonna be like, can they just away for
Yeah,
a
just
minute?
keep
This
on
is
away.
about me.
Thank you.
We need to be calm and have peace.
Yes. All right, let's get into Heather Weber,
I love her so
one of
much.
your favorites. So Rick is having lunch or maybe dinner with Ava. I'm not sure which, or
Mhm.
cocktails, one or the other.
I don't know. With Ava, it's always cocktails.
Exactly. And he gets a call that really disturbs him, and he finds out that Heather is going to be released. So he goes to Liz first and lets her know, and then did she tell him to go to the party where Portia was and let them know?
Well, first off, Rick goes to Liz and says, "You have to help me. You have to tell Portia what I did."
Right, right, right. Yeah, that's
He
great.
He's so great. He's like, "But you know them and they'll listen to you and you're like a normal person." And she's like, "Oh no, you're not dragging me into this crazy thing." She's like, "You
Hmm.
knew this was a possibility when you took on this case." And he's like, he didn't. He
Hmm.
honestly believed they would just put her in a lower security prison or they'd send her to Ferncliff. He
Hmm.
had no idea he would lawyer this close to the sun. And now she's being let go.
Yeah.
Great work from Rick this week. He's amazing.
Yes. So Rick
He
goes
was so
to.
genuinely panicked. It was hilarious.
It was. He did a great job. So Rick goes to Marshall's going away party. Marshall has already left at this point, I believe, with Stella to go to the airport.
Mhm.
Um, so he goes up to Curtis and Portia, and Portia's like, "Well, this has got to be about Heather Weber," and she was so obnoxious. I couldn't stand it when she was like, "Everybody, we have news about Heather Weber." Like,
Well,
what
he tried to handle it professionally. He said, "Can
she
I
did?
can I take you into another room? Can we discuss
But
this
Portia made a
quietly?"
spectacle about it, and like everyone came over and heard that.
Right.
She made Rick say the news in front of everybody, which is
Mhm.
not cool. Like I feel like Portia and Curtis could have broken that to Trina privately, but whatever.
It's just not how Portia does things.
No, and she was annoying me during all those scenes. Like,
I
nothing
mean,
against the
I
actress,
just
but
feel like her genuine panic about Heather is accurate.
yeah,
Um,
it's well founded. Yeah,
it's well founded, but the way she chooses to handle it is like I don't know. I know it's a soap opera, but it's annoying.
I thought
You're
she was
right. It's
gonna
really
let
annoying.
out a very cringeworthy shriek. Like I thought that was coming, and I was just like, no. But I mean, she did start to rant and rave, but that was,
I did think this was a great scene for one reason. I loved Molly coming in clutch to defend
yeah,
not really Rick, but like she said, the
the
law.
law.
And they're right. Both of them are right. Heather was absolutely entitled to a rigorous defense. That's how the law works. So like
Mhm.
even though everybody's coming in here and they're going, "You're crazy. You should never have done this." But like everyone deserves a good defense. That's how it works.
Right.
And Rick just did too good of a job. And
Rick
it is
did
left
a
up
good
to the
job.
judge. Yeah, he's a great lawyer.
And
He
that
did a
also
good
caused a
job.
rift between another rift between Molly and TJ because
because TJ has never once understood Molly's profession.
he
He
doesn't.
does not understand her devotion to it, which is weird because he's a doctor. It's the same kind of level of thing where you give your all to your clients versus patients. But
Mhm.
he just seems to think that that's like you pick and choose when you give your all, and that's not how the law works.
Yeah.
And Molly says that. She's like, "What? I mean,
She
she brings cases home. She works really hard." And then TJ is just like, "Yeah, but,
Mhm.
whatever."
Yeah.
I don't know
I
what they're
feel
doing
like
with TJ, but
they're still gonna, they're headed towards a breakup.
oh
So
yeah, definitely.
yeah. So, but and then TJ goes to the hospital and chats with Lucas, and to avoid being home with Molly. It's just like there's no way that they're not gonna break them up. It's coming.
Well, they can't communicate. They just can't because
No.
I assure you, TJ still
Mhm.
thinks that Molly is wrong because she's not mourning the same way he is. And he even
Right.
brings it up again. He says to Lucas, she didn't come to this ceremony when we wanted to do it. She didn't do this when we wanted her to do this. And at least I'm not out at a bar, which was a dig again at how Molly's handling her grief. He can't understand why she can't handle things the way he does.
Right. The only reason I don't want this to happen because it makes Christina right, and I really don't want Christina to be right.
No one wants Christina to be right.
Yeah, yeah,
She's so far off the rails right now. No one wants her to be right about anything. She is
yeah,
really crazy in a fun way, though. So, like, I like to
mhm,
watch it, but I don't want her to be correct.
yeah. All right, well, we'll keep talking a little bit about Heather. So Curtis reaches out to Stephen Lars and brings him back to Port Charles,
He looks good.
newly released from prison, a fresh-looking Scott Reeves,
Hmm.
still looking handsome as ever.
Yeah, Scott Reeves. He looked good. Real clean cut, like real
Yeah.
healthy looking. He looked good.
Mhm.
I hadn't seen him in so long, and as soon as he stepped on camera, I was like, oh hey.
Yeah.
So he looks the same. He's good.
So Curtis wants Stephen Lars to take Heather back with him to Arizona,
Hmm.
and he's prepared to pay him very handsomely and get his medical license reinstated as well.
Right.
So at first he's a little reluctant because I'm sure he doesn't want to deal with his crazy mother, like who would? But eventually Curtis gets him to agree, and then later on, I'm sorry, not Curtis. Stephen Lars and Liz meet with Heather as soon as she's released from prison, and then Stephen Lars takes Heather to, of course, to Kelly's or Bobby's for a
Forget a
BLT,
BLT.
her favorite,
Mhm, mhm.
and Stephen convinces her finally to move to Arizona with him. Her first, she doesn't want to leave Ace. That's the one thing that's keeping her in Port Charles.
Mhm.
But she finally decides to go with him and start fresh. And they go to the hospital and share the news with Liz. And I think that's where we left off with them.
Well, she sees Laura and she runs
Right.
up to Laura. She actually adorably almost skips up to Laura. She's so excited to
Yeah.
see her. And
Hmm.
everyone is terrified of Heather whenever she's in any room. And it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny because when she was leaving prison, she has like her effects in the little bag and she's dressed real cute.
Hmm.
And she says to the guard, she's like, "Thanks, I'm really gonna miss you."
And she said earlier that she misses Alexis, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, she's like, "I miss Alexis. She was fun. She makes the best like wine, like toilet wine or something.
Yeah.
She's great." And when
Um,
she gets outside, Elizabeth is like resigned to be there because, she
mhm.
has that through Franco, she has a relationship with Heather. And then her brother shows up, and it's such a weird thing because her brother is Heather's son, but she was
Mhm.
married to Heather's other son. But they're they're too close. The relationships are too close.
Yeah, we didn't get any scenes with Stephen Lars and Olivia, but he did. Heather did bring her up to him, and he said that's a closed subject. We can't talk about that.
Which is a
So,
shame. That's
yeah.
a shame. That's a shame. I understand it.
Mhm.
He's there for one reason only, because Curtis made him come to town
I
and
do
bullied
hope they
him.
run into each other though before he leaves. That would.
Me too. Me too. I would like to see that.
Mhm.
Shake
Yeah.
up Ned and Olivia a little bit, considering I'm not like the biggest fan of their relationship. I don't feel like Olivia puts 100% into Ned the way he does into her.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Okay, so we'll talk about Sasha, Holly at all. So Maxie and Sasha talk, and Maxie asks her, well, "What if Holly isn't lying?" And then Robert tells Holly he already knows about Sasha because she's already been to visit him,
Mm-hmm.
and so Holly's very, upset because she knew Robert was going to react the way that he did, and Robert is just, I feel like Robert wasn't hard enough on her.
I think Robert's kind of resigned to this scenario. Holly always lies to him.
Yeah,
So
so he's like used to it, I guess, but still.
I think he's been through this before because of the Ethan scenario, and he even brings it up. I think he
Yeah.
was so disappointed that
Hmm.
Ethan wasn't his son that
Hmm.
it's almost like he can't get too excited about Sasha being his daughter. Like he
Right.
can't get mad at Holly because he's just like, Holly always lies to me. She just lies to me all the time.
Right.
It did seem like he wasn't really that dramatically reacting. But then with Sasha, he was like, "You're my daughter, and I'm like excited to be your dad." And she's so heartbroken because this messes up her romantic relationship
Yes.
because now her boyfriend is her cousin.
So Holly mentioned that this is a question for you, actually. Holly mentioned that the WSB had Robert killed. Is this the 1992 death, or is this in the 80s?
It would have been when was Bill Eckert on? Because it would have been
92.
right. Yeah, it would have been right before that. He was dead for a while.
Okay, so
He
there's
was dead for almost. I think Holly says almost 15 years. They thought
right.
both Robert and Anna were dead for a while.
Yes, I remember that because we watched 92, and Robert and Anna are already dead, but Holly is on and dating Bill Eckert, so, and she's not pregnant. So,
Yeah, I know this happens a lot.
but I was thinking possibly maybe they're talking about a different time Robert was dead in
Um,
the 80s, and then
I
that
have to
would
look at.
be more towards when like Sasha could have been born because Holly wasn't on the show like during that time maybe. So
It's hard. It's hard to make it work because it was so funny. They actually showed a flashback of Holly,
yes.
and that was when Holly was pregnant with Luke's baby when Luke died in the avalanche.
Hmm.
So like it's terrible because you put these things on and you're like, I can make this clip mean anything you want. And then there's people like me going, yeah, that's exactly this scene from this year, So
Right.
that's like 1982, 83, something like that, where he has to marry Holly or else Holly's going to be deported. And at the
Hmm.
time, she was pregnant with Luke's baby. Luke was dead. Robert stepped up as Luke's best friend, and it caused a whole havoc because Luke actually wasn't dead. He
Hmm.
he just couldn't walk. He was paralyzed for a while, so he thought he was a burden and he wouldn't come back. And it was really obnoxious because he was gone for 6 months, and then he was so mad at Holly for not waiting. He was dead. What was Holly supposed to do? Everyone thought he was dead. They had a funeral and everything.
Hmm.
Let's see. I'm gonna look at Robert's dates because, like, when it gets into like the late '80s, early '90s, I was in school. I didn't, I didn't see all of that all the time, and I was focused on Mac when Mac came on. I
Right.
think
And
it was like
so Holly
89 or
goes to
90.
see Anna and tells her about Sasha, and Anna reacts like she says, "Holly, this is low even for you." Like
Hmm.
that she would keep a child from Robert like this. Like, and Anna can't believe it. And Holly says she's in no position to judge because of Robin. And Holly says, "Well, Robin was 5." I told Robert about
Okay, two
her.
things about that. Robin was 5, and
Yeah,
also Robin didn't even know that Anna was her mother.
yeah.
Philomena had Robin,
Hmm.
and Anna was hiding the parentage of the kid from everyone, even the
Oh,
kid.
really?
So she did not know that she was Robert and Anna's kid for a while
Yeah.
because they had enemies. Anna was a double agent. Robert was in the WSB. So between the two of them, they had enough enemies that they had to protect Robin because she was
Mhm.
5. She was a little tiny girl.
Right. Who's Philomena, by the way?
She looked after
She just looked
she
after
looked she
Robin.
looked after Robin. She was on for a long time. She,
Okay. It's okay. It's not. I was thinking of Paloma, Holly's sister.
no,
Not.
no, no, not
Okay.
Paloma.
Okay. Okay.
Not
Gotcha.
Holly's twin.
Right. Yeah. I was like, that's interesting. So Holly later goes to see Sonny, and she has a proposition for him. She wants him to help her move the diamonds, but that's not really Sonny's forte. So I don't know where they're going to go with that whole storyline. Diane walks in and sees them together and why Holly would be coming to see Sonny.
She's so funny. She's like, I'm here for a social visit.
Yeah.
And he's like, I see you're busy. And then she leaves because obviously she's not going to discuss anything with Holly, even in the
Right.
vicinity. And then, like a good girlfriend, she goes running right to Robert to find out what's up. That was so funny.
Yes, and then Robert tells her about Sasha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Philomena was on from 85 to 88.
Okay. So she
Philomena.
kind of took on the role of Robin's like caregiver.
Yeah, she
Okay.
came. Yeah, that's how Robin came to town. Philomena.
Gotcha. Okay. So the DNA test comes back and it's a match. Sasha is Robert's daughter, which doesn't make sense, but here we are.
I don't understand this storyline. I'm again rolling with it. I don't
Yeah.
understand the storyline. I don't know what we're doing right now.
And Robert said that he knew that Sasha was his daughter when she first walked in the office because she had his mother's eyes. So
Yeah.
that was interesting. But did he? I guess he never met her before. Is that the first time they met? When they?
I think Robert doesn't pay attention to people who like he has no real interaction with. Why would he? Even when Cody was found out to be his nephew, he really hasn't had any interactions with him. He just went to Mac and was like, "Good job, you got a kid, cool."
Right, you finally have a kid.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Mac has been raising every little girl in town. He raised Robin, he raised Georgie, he raised Maxie. Like if there's a child anywhere that needs a parent, here's Mac, right? And now he finally has his own kid, and he's all full grown and everything.
Yeah. Sasha confides in Nina. She does say that Sasha was raised by her grandmother, so I guess the Gilmores don't come into play. I guess we forgot
Gilmores are fake, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess we're rewriting them as fake.
A lot of Nina about being her daughter. I don't know. I don't know where the name Gilmore comes from. I want to know that, but they'll probably just drop it and won't mention it.
I don't think we're going to deal with that.
No.
So Robert left in 92.
Yeah.
And then he was on in 95. And then he was gone until 2006. So I don't know how a magical birth could have happened. No. I just don't see it fitting into the years it would need to be.
It doesn't, because like I said, Bill. It makes more sense that Bill Eckert is Holly.
It does make more sense. Well, it also made more sense that if Ethan was Robert's son, so I don't know why they ever made that decision. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of revenge on Robert, I guess, for marrying Holly when Luke was dead.
Yeah. So Sasha is reeling from these results, and she goes to tell Cody, only to find Cody with Holly. Holly is trying to recruit him into a con back in England. But Cody says no. He loves Sasha. He doesn't want to go anywhere.
Well, he said he's not really interested in cons anymore. That's not what he's doing. And Holly's just trying to get rid of him.
Right. Exactly. She doesn't want him anywhere near Sasha.
I don't blame her for that if she thinks they're related.
Right. Well, maybe there's a twist. Maybe this DNA test was rigged. Who knows? Maybe.
Listen, sometimes you got to trust the writers. You got to trust the writers, and you got to cross your fingers and hope somebody remembered that this doesn't fit in any of the timelines.
No. I mean, like, there are a lot of people that were in Port Charles in 1992, Felicia, Mac, that would know that Holly was not pregnant when Robert died. So,
yeah, they would have to do a lot of work to hide the fact that she was pregnant.
Unless she kept the secret under wraps the whole time she was dating Bill Eckert. Who knows? But I don't think she did.
She weighs what, 10 pounds soaking wet? How is she going to hide a pregnancy?
Exactly. There's no way she hid it.
Well, I mean, I know that the show has a history of rewriting certain characters' backstories. Luke Spencer. So, like, they go in there and they change stuff. And they do it for storyline reasons. So this might pan out or it might not. But if you're a person who likes to watch the old stuff, it kind of just irks you because you're trying to do the mental, like you're doing all the math, trying to fit the pieces together, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, this could all turn out to be a Cesar Faison plot somewhere down the line.
Hmm.
He's always involved,
Cesar's dead, right?
isn't he?
Yeah, like everybody
His
else.
brain was in a jar, isn't it? Like, didn't
Yeah.
Kevin have his brain in a
Nathan
jar?
killed him, right? Yeah, I think Nathan killed him. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have his brain in a jar somewhere. That doesn't mean he's dead. People get cloned. People don't die in General Hospital
No, they don't.
forever. Not
No.
forever.
And if Helena's dead, that says
No, yeah, sure she is.
something.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so Violet is departing. They had a final tea party for Violet at the Watermeans. Tracy gives Lila's tea set to take with her to Seattle, but Violet says she wants her to keep one cup for virtual tea parties.
This was sad.
This is very sad. Yes.
I love that little girl. I'm really sad that she's leaving.
Yeah. It was very heartwarming. Violet told Brooklyn that she's going to miss her the most, so that was really sweet. And very sad that Violet has left. She's been on the show for a while. She's a cute little girl, and I think everyone's going to miss her.
You get attached to these kids because like they're
Mhm.
adorable and they do a really good job. And Violet's always
Mhm.
been really talented. So it's
Yeah.
a loss for the show to have her leave. But
Mhm.
little kids leave and then 2 years later they come back as teenagers who can get into trouble. So we'll see what happens if she gets aged for storyline purposes.
I could see that happening. I did it with Spencer, so I could see that happening.
They kind of had to do it with Spencer.
Yeah, for sure.
The original actor, he still looks very, very young, very puppyish.
Yes. So Laura and Anna also had scenes together this week, and I enjoyed these scenes as well. Laura thanks Anna for bringing Lucky back to Port Charles, and they both are trying to figure out where Valentine is so they can get in touch with Charlotte and let her know what's going on with her mother.
It did put Anna on the back foot, though, because Laura
Mhm.
was pressing her about how crappy Valentine is for dipping and not telling anyone where he is because,
Mhm.
that little girl is Laura's family and
Yeah.
he took her and disappeared with her, which is a cast 9 thing to do. They do that a lot.
Mhm.
Nicholas does that kind of stuff. And she's just mad. And Anna's always put in this position of defending Valentine, which sometimes I just wish she would allow herself to be angry with him. Because she is angry with him. She's just kind of
And she has
suppressing it.
every right to be angry with him.
Yes.
Even though I do like them together, I think they have great chemistry though, and I prefer him and her and Valentine together over Jason. But
I like them together, but I almost feel like he Stockholm syndromed her into that relationship. So sometimes I feel it's a little weird that it started as him stalking her for decades.
yeah,
That's
it's a little weird.
it's not a comfortable beginning to a relationship. Not, I'm saying that, but Luke and Laura, and I understand that, but at the same time, like this is a modern storyline, so it's a little harder for me to like roll with it.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Oh, Sidwell is on his way to Port Charles. Most likely, he was spotted in Miami. Anna finds out and alerts Jason, and she alerts Brennan as well.
Brennan is aware of it, and he knows Holly has something to do with it. He
Right.
wants to know what she took
Mm-hmm.
and who knows about it. So he leans on Carly a little bit to
Mm-hmm.
get in
I know.
contact with Jason.
Right.
Um,
And
and
Jason
he's funny. He's
lets
funny because he's like, she's like, why did you help me? And he's like, if I have to answer that question, you're not as smart as I think you are.
And Jason had a little attitude with Carly too, which I kind of liked. He's like, "Well, why did you not tell me he was going to be here?"
Because
Yeah.
you shouldn't pull Jason into situations without letting him know what's happening.
Right.
He has to be prepared for it. And he is frustrated with her because he told her before, don't do business with Brennan because it will
Mm-hmm.
be quid pro quo.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it's not. It won't be because like he's my friend that I just met and I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
So of course, he came in with an attitude. He came in hot because he didn't know what he was walking into. He thought he was meeting Carly, and now he's meeting with this guy he doesn't trust. And then he gets asked about it, and he does tell the truth. He's like, Holly's got diamonds. They're
Mm-hmm.
probably Sidwell's diamonds. And now leave Carly alone. I don't want to hear about this anymore. I
Okay.
liked it. I thought Steve Burton did a great job.
Yeah, he did. He was great in those scenes for
Mhm.
sure. So let's talk a little about Lucas.
I love
um,
him.
I love this guy as Lucas. He's
Yeah, he's
great.
great.
He's really good. I think he has chemistry with Brad. I think he has chemistry with Isaiah. I enjoyed his scenes with TJ. Like,
Hmm.
I really, really want him and Isaiah to have like a hookup or something. Like, I'm rooting for that.
I when it's so funny because we talk to each other throughout the week, and as soon as I saw that scene, I was like,
Yeah.
there's chemistry in this scene. Like this is
Hmm.
this is something. And
Yeah.
then you messaged me the next day because you watched it the day after, and you were like, "Did you notice the chemistry between these two characters?" Like we immediately like we're like, something's there.
Yeah. I
I like
mean,
it.
I think it'd be cool to have him in a like triangle with Jordan too. That'd be kind of cool.
Why
The three
not?
of them.
Why
Yeah, why
not? But
not?
I hate that Jordan kind of gets sidelined into things. So on that
Yeah,
end, I wouldn't particularly like that if she gets sidelined for I don't know, unless it's like a real triangle. Make it a real triangle. Don't play around with us.
yeah.
That might be interesting.
So funny. I wrote down in my notes for Lucas pastries and towel. It's like, oh no,
Tell the pastry story.
right. So Brad brings pastries from Eckert's, which is a nice shout out to the Eckert family, to the hospital to try to win people over, and he leaves
To the
one.
father of Holly's baby.
Yes, the future father of Sasha. Yeah. And he leaves Lucas's favorite pastry in his locker, and he sees a note. He's not sure it's from Brad, but he starts eating it, and then Brad walks in, sees him in his towel, and Lucas is kind of like annoyed that he's there. He's not respecting his boundaries and this
Well,
that.
it was an invasion of his privacy to put
Yeah,
something in his locker.
right.
It
And
was sweet. It was done for a sweet cause.
right, yeah. And I think Lucas gets angry or something, and then he drops his towel, and then Brad says, Nothing I haven't seen before, but you should get
Yeah,
that
he's like,
multiple towel."
relax. It's nothing I haven't seen before.
Yeah,
Like,
but you should
Brad,
get that
stop
multiple
it.
towel.
That mole is new.
That was funny. That was
Uh,
really funny.
Brad is really the comedic relief this week, and he's coming in clutch because with all these serious storylines, having
Mhm.
him do that with the donuts, and then
Mhm.
when he goes, he has Portia over a barrel, so he schedules himself off early to go to
Yes.
a game, and
And
he
she's
comes
like,
up front,
"Have
and they're like,
fun."
"Oh, Brad
Like,
bought us donuts," and he's like, "Ah!"
oh my god, I love when she was like, "Have fun," like just like that, like so
Yeah.
angry, but she couldn't say anything.
I know. It's so funny because like Portia shouldn't be a villain. Like she shouldn't, but she kind of is. And like she has good reasonings for some of the things she does. I think it's just the way she goes about it makes people villainize her, which is
Yeah,
unfair because like she is a scared mother trying to protect her kid and
right.
she's done bad things and that's like everybody in town. But at the same time it's just her delivery all the time and her attitude about
Her
things which
delivery is what it is.
yeah.
If she would deliver those the things she says differently, then she wouldn't come across as a villainous or an
Yeah.
asshole, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
it
I'm
sucks.
wondering if that's how they tell her to deliver the lines, or if that's how she's choosing to deliver the lines. I don't know.
I don't know. It just depends on like the personification of the character of Portia sometimes is
Hmm.
just that she can't handle certain things without being aggressively self-righteous about it.
Yeah.
And it just even if her point is correct,
Hmm.
nobody's listening because of the way she's delivering her points.
Right.
I'm actually really excited for her. She was smart. She went to Curtis and told him what was going on. So
Hmm.
she kept her husband in the loop, which is the smartest thing she's done in a minute.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't like that Curtis went behind Heather's back to get Steven to get her out of town. It was just kind of like who the hell is this guy to do that? But it
Hmm.
was the smartest way to get Heather out of town, so I also admire it. I don't know. I'm confused about
Yeah.
how I feel about it.
But I feel like Heather's going to maybe
She's not
not
going
end up not.
away.
She's not going to end up going with him. No,
Mm-mm.
it's not going to happen. All right, that's all I have. Is there anything else you got?
I think we covered everybody. I am really proud of Molly for again for standing on business. She's been pretty consistently solid. I
Yeah.
think Yeah, I think that whole scene with her standing up to TJ and just basically telling him, this is the job, and he's doing his job, and then turning on Rick and being like, we don't have to defend Ava, which was
Right.
like, and his point about defending Ava to settle this scenario because everyone keeps thinking it's Ava's fault, and Rick's like, you can't blame her, you can't get revenge on her, it doesn't change anything, and you're wrong. So like
Mhm.
I like that they're kind of like trying to figure out their father-daughter relationship, and Molly is being very strong and very angry and very like she's just really interesting.
Yeah.
But her relationship with TJ is going down in flames. They just can't communicate. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But grief
Hopefully,
does that.
yeah. Hopefully, it's a temporary breakup, but we'll see.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Karen and I are going to head over to Patreon and continue this chat. So please join us, and we will see you next week.